Damn phones, Babylons can't crack the code.
When you go to 24/7 Sports and all-time top recruits in history according to the 24/7 Sports composite rankings and go to quarterback rankings, you'll see the top 5 is Vince Young, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Brock Berlin, and Terrell Pryor. But what if I told you none of those guys are the best high school quarterback ever? Instead, it is someone else that's not in the top 5. This is B. Kelly, back again with another banger video, and today's video, y'all, I am going to be talking about the best high school quarterback in high school football history and his story. That quarterback is none other than Kyler Murray. Before I move on with the video, remember to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, as we are on the road to 10K. Now, let's get into it. Kyler Murray would attend Allen High School in Allen, Texas, and anytime he was on the field, the guy was a complete cheat code. In his career numbers as a 3-year starter for Allen High School, he was 42-0, 3-time state champion, had 10,386 passing yards, 117 touchdowns, and 21 interceptions. Not to mention, he was also the 2014 Offensive Player of the Year according to USA Today, a 2-time National Player of the Year according to Max Preps, the 2015 Gatorade National Player of the Year, an Under Armour All-American, and even an Elite 11 finalist. If you were an opposing team about to play Kyler Murray and Allen High School, you were doomed. There was no way you were going to stop them, and there was no way you were going to beat them at all. It was almost impossible to game plan versus Kyler Murray in high school, as this guy would beat you through the air, and he would torch you on the ground with every carry he had. A good thing I would say is basically imagine how good Kyler Murray was in his Heisman winning year at OU, but versus a bunch of high school players. In his senior season, he played in 16 games, going 16-0 as a starter and winning the state championship game. He completed 64% of his passes, threw for 4,715 yards, 54 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. On the ground, he rushed for almost 1,500 yards, averaging about 10 yards per carry, and 24 total touchdowns on the ground. The man was just straight up built different in high school, and it wasn't like he was going against bums either. The guy was playing in a very tough division in Texas, and everybody knows Texas football is basically a religion down there. Kyler Murray in the 2015 recruiting class ranked as a 5-star recruit, the 34th best player in the nation, the number 1 dual threat quarterback, and the number 5 player in the state of Texas. He held a variety of Power 5 offers from schools such as Texas A&M, OU, Oregon, Texas, Clemson, Florida, Notre Dame, Ohio State, TCU, and Arizona State, just to name a few. Some of the top schools in his recruitment were Texas A&M, Texas, and Oregon. He would end up choosing the Aggies as his next destination for his football career. As for the quarterback rankings in the 2015 recruiting class, Kyler Murray was the 3rd-ranked quarterback in that class, behind 2 pro-style quarterbacks that were both 6'4" in Josh Rosen and Blake Barnett. Now, the big reason why Kyler Murray was not the number 1 quarterback coming out of high school in his position was primarily because he's a short guy, and he's still a short guy, and at Allen High School, he was 5'10", compared to both of the pro-style quarterbacks in Josh Rosen and Blake Barnett, who were both 6'4". If you want to know briefly what happened to the 2 quarterbacks ranked above him, Blake Barnett went to 3 Division I colleges in Alabama, ASU, and USF, and he never made it to the NFL. Josh Rosen had a good career at UCLA, but was nowhere near the level of college Kyler Murray, and he's been struggling to stay on NFL teams during his NFL career. Enough about that, let's talk about Kyler Murray at Texas A&M. Now, Kyler Murray, as a true freshman at Texas A&M in the 2015 college football season, was initially the backup quarterback for Texas A&M to start off the season, but he would eventually become the starting quarterback during the season, taking the place over Kyle Allen. Now, he would end up playing in 8 games in total in his freshman campaign, in which he completed 60% of his passes, threw for 686 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions, while rushing for 335 yards, averaging 6 yards per carry, and 1 touchdown. He showed a lot of potential in this season as a future starting quarterback for Texas A&M, but he also struggled as well. And after a dominant win over Western Carolina in which they won 41-17, after throwing 191 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions in that game, he would not be the starting quarterback for the rest of the season, as Kyle Allen would retake the starting position, and Murray was the backup for the rest of the season. And that did not sit well with Kyler, and Kyler, after that season, would end up entering the transfer portal and transferring to Oklahoma. When he got to OU in 2016, he would have to sit out that entire season due to the NCAA's transfer rules at the time, so he would effectively redshirt that season. In 2017, as a redshirt sophomore, he would appear in 7 games for the Sooners, primarily in Wildcat packages and not really playing the most actual playing time in the game, but he played pretty well when he was playing, as he completed 86% of his passes, threw for 359 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions, while rushing for 142 yards, averaging 10 yards per carry. Once the 2018 college football season finally came around, Kyler Murray's wait to become the starting quarterback for the Sooners was over, as Baker Mayfield was gone and he was drafted to the Cleveland Browns with the number 1 overall pick in the 2018 NFL Draft. And there was a lot of high expectations for Kyler this season, and he exceeded every one of them as well. In this season, in 14 games played, he would end up completing 69% of his passes, throwing for 4,361 yards, 42 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. While on the ground, he rushed for 1,001 yards, 12 total touchdowns, and had an average of 7 yards per carry. Now, some of the accolades he had on his name for this season was the 2018 AP Player of the Year Award, 2018 Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year, the 2018 Davey O'Brien Award winner, the 2018 Heisman Trophy winner, and the 2018 Manning Award winner as well. The Sooners would end up losing in the playoffs in the first round to Alabama that season, and Kyler Murray's football career at Oklahoma was officially done, as no one saw him actually coming back after that season. But he had a decision to make. Was he going to go to the NFL, or was he going to go to the MLB? There was a lot of debate over this, as Kyler Murray was always a great baseball player and a top player as well anytime he was playing. He was a top player coming out of high school, and he was expected to be a top college player as well, and that he was. This is something that's worth noting, but in high school, he was the first ever player to be selected to both the Under Armour All-American baseball game and football game. And not only that, he was seen as a top prospect for the 2015 MLB draft, but he opted to go to college instead and play football and baseball. The decision that he had to make once he was done at OU was the MLB or NFL decision. And I'm saying this because Kyler Murray in the 2018 MLB draft was taken in the first round by the Oakland Athletics. And there were people out there that were saying that going with baseball would be smarter because Murray was smaller and they didn't think he might not actually live up to the hype going in, and that his size would be a huge disadvantage on the NFL level, and you have more guaranteed money with baseball. But Kyler Murray took a bet on himself, as he believed in his abilities to be a great quarterback at the next level for the NFL, and in January of 2019, he would enter his name into the 2019 NFL Draft to pursue a career in the NFL over the MLB. In the 2019 NFL Draft, Kyler Murray was taken with the number 1 overall selection in the first round by the Arizona Cardinals. When he came into the Cardinals system, he was pretty much the starter immediately, as he would start in all 16 games in the regular season as a rookie, posting a quarterback record of 5-10-1. He would end up being the AP Offensive Rookie of the Year for that season, as in that season he would end up throwing for 3,722 yards, completing 64% of his passes, 20 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions, while on the ground he rushed for 544 yards and 4 touchdowns, averaging about 6 yards per carry. In 2019, his second year in the NFL, he would improve even more and he would even make his first career Pro Bowl appearance for the Cardinals. Now in this season, he would play in all 16 games yet again, posing a quarterback record for this season of 8-8, and he would complete 67% of his passes, throwing for 3,971 yards, 26 total touchdowns through the air, and 12 interceptions through the air as well. On the ground in this season, his numbers improved drastically from the season prior, as he had 819 total rushing yards this season, 11 total touchdowns on the ground, while rushing for 6 yards per carry. He is currently seen as one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL right now. And something you need to remember from this video, if you're going to be talking about who are some of the best high school quarterbacks of all time, you have to remember to bring up the great Kyler Murray. Well guys, if you guys have made it this far in the video, comment something down below if you think Kyler Murray is the best high school quarterback of all time, or if you think it is someone else, comment someone else down there and say why. And before you head out, remember to smash that like button, turn on them post notifications, and subscribe for more videos. B. Kelly out.